so we need to go ahead and get started. I do want to do a very quick transfer in today, very similar to what we did last week. I just want you to introduce yourself to the group. Who are you? Where are you in the country? And you might be in Midlothian, and I happen to know that that's in Virginia, but you might say I'm in Midlothian, and that's near Richmond, Virginia, or something to sort of give it a little bit of context. So as I call your name, sorry, I'm just marking these last few people that are jumping in through the waiting room here. As you call your name, as I call your name, introduce yourself. Where are you, and what is your role in the company? So are you a design associate, a franchise owner, whatever? And let's see, I'll start with Jake Evans, and then we're going to Paul.
Yeah, my name is Jake Evans. I'm here in Harriman, Utah, which is just outside of Salt Lake City, and I'm a DA.
Nice. All right, Paul moved on my screen. I don't know where he went, but let's go.
I'm still here.
And there he is.
Paul Dunn, yep, from Cape Cod, and I am a design assistant.
Nice. All right, how about Adam Alexander?
Hey guys, yep, Adam Alexander. I'm located in Brighton, Michigan, and I'm a DA.
Nice, thank you for that. Jenny Winky.
Can you hear me?
We got you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry, I'm in Houston, Texas, and I'm a design associate.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. David Lee.
Wasn't fast with the mute button there. So David Lee at Seattle, Washington. I've actually got the North Seattle branch. It's about 15 minutes north, and I am an owner.
Nice. Tom Reeve, and then we're going to David Hawkins.
Tom Reeve in Chicago. I work for Mike Gagliano and his wife Norma, and basically we have the western suburbs of Chicago.
Nice, thank you. David, and then we're going to Steve Randolph.
Hey all, David Hawkins with Lisa Hawkins, and we are owners in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nice. All right, Stephen, and then we're going to Allie and Sally.
Yeah, I'm Steve Randolph in Tampa, Florida. I'm a DA.
Nice. All right, Allie and Sally.
Hi, I'm Allie Krasinski. I am in the Milwaukee area. I believe Sally is joining us soon, but I'm not sure if she's going to be remote or not this time. But we are in Milwaukee, and we are both DAs.
Nice. All right, how about Alana and then Adam?
Hi, Alana Lombardi. I officially start March 1st. I am in Palm Harbor, Florida, and will be working under Mark and Jenny McMurray.
Nice. All right, Adam, and then Axel.
Hello, everyone. I'm Axel from Norfolk, Virginia. I'm an owner.
Nice. Thank you for that. All right, let's come back to Adam Alexander.
I think I was like the second or third one, but it's Adam Alexander in Brighton, Michigan. And I'm a design associate. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you. Kay.
Hey, I'm Kay Gualvas, and I'm a franchise owner with Olivia Karcher and Raul Gualvas in Savannah, Georgia.
Nice. Nice. All right. Greg, you happen to be next on my screen.
Hi, I'm Greg Siddons. I'm an owner. I'm based out of Bedford, New York, which is in Westchester County, about 45 minutes north of New York City.
Nice. Let's see, Rocky Marciano.
Sorry. Okay, here we are. Hi, my name is Rocky Marciano. I'm an owner out of Twin Falls, Idaho.
Nice. Jennifer Evington.
Jennifer Evington, upstate South Carolina with Janet Rossman.
Nice.
Design associate.
Spencer Akers. I'm an owner out of North Twin Cities, Minnesota.
Thank you. And Dan Atkins.
Dan Atkins, Omaha, Nebraska, and I'm an owner.
Nice. Let's see, Olivia. We met Kay. Now let's meet Olivia.
Hey, I'm Olivia Karcher in Savannah, Georgia with Kay and Raul Wellness.
Nice. Let's see, Paul Beaudry. Did we get Paul earlier? No, he was there. He was there. Going once for Paul, going twice for Paul.
Can you hear me now?
Now we've got you.
This is Paul, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Design
Nice.
associate.
Good stuff. Brigitte.
I am Brigitte Black, design associate out of Plano, Texas, working with John Conroy.
Good deal. And Sherry.
Hi, I'm Sherry Bugel, working with Karen and Matt Ferguson out of their Plainfield location, Plainfield, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago.
Nice. Let's see. Aaron Burrell.
Aaron Burrell, design associate, Toledo, Ohio. I'm right on the border of Ohio and Michigan.
Nice. Mersha.
Hi, I'm Mersha. I am in Holly Springs, which is just outside of Raleigh, North Carolina.
Good deal. Charlotte. Not the city, the person.
Indeed, yes. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Charlotte Gillette in Bradenton, Florida, which is just south of the Tampa metro area.
Good deal. All right, I saw Cody jump in. Where's Cody?
Yep, right here, Cody Ware. I'm a design associate in Lansing, Michigan. And for those of you who don't know, I'm going to give it to you right smack dab in the middle, right there.
Perfect. Julie.
Hello, everybody. My name is Julie Vernetti in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I'm a design associate.
Good stuff. Beto.
Hi, everyone. This is Beto Tenorio, Northeast Atlanta, working for Jenny Hong.
Good deal. Will Skaggs.
Hi, Will Skaggs. I'm in the Chesterfield area as a DA. It's right outside St. Louis.
Good deal. All right, Portia.
Portia Wallace. I'm in Forney, a little.
Portia's internet is cutting in and out. So we're going to go to Keith Thomas.
Hi, everybody. Keith Thomas. I'm an owner and I'm in Rhode Island, Ashway, Rhode Island.
Good deal. And Janie Sandberg.
Hey, everybody. Janie Sandberg. I'm in Henderson, Nevada, which is in the southeast Las Vegas Valley.
And you are
I'm an owner.
Thank you. Dan Lyman.
Hey everyone, I'm a new owner in Sterling, Virginia, which is a suburb of Washington, D.C. And I apologize, my video will be on and off so you guys don't have to watch me eat my lunch.
There you go. Let's see, we've got David Lee.
They don't want to hear me again.
We've already got you. All right, good stuff. And I see Matt Moten has joined us. You guys are treated to. You've got one of the best in the business right there. Matt Moten from Cleveland, Ohio, has joined us.
Yeah,
Matt, would you introduce yourself to the team here?
Let me get my boots on next time. Next time you're talking, Arlen. Yeah, pleasure to be on. My new DA, Nick Green, just starting off. Appreciate you letting us jump on a week late here. He just started on Monday, and yeah, I haven't been through one of these trainings in a long time, so I'm interested to see what it's like. I heard good things.
Well, we'll see. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Matt, how long have you been in business?
I just finished our 6th year. Yep. So we're in Cleveland, Akron, Ohio. Yep. Last year finished our 6th year, and yeah, looking forward to hiring a bunch of DAs. Keep growing this thing.
Love it. Okay, who did I miss? I called a couple of people twice to try to keep from missing anybody, but I know I've missed someone. So who have I missed?
Hey, Arlen, it's Brett. Brett Johnson, Des Moines, Iowa, owner.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry I was late.
Who else have I missed?
As Chad Whaley, Indianapolis, Indiana, under Jason Barrett, design associate.
Thank you, sir.
This is Ethan Campbell, north side of Indianapolis, Carmel, with Terry Turman, design associate.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Marty Marsh, Plano,
And did that
Texas. John Conroy, DA.
I see somehow or another, Marnie, you've slipped in. There's 2 or 3 of you that slip in without going to the waiting room, which is perfectly fine, but the waiting room helps me figure out who's in and who's not in. So that's good.
Yeah, I was
Did I
on
miss anybody else?
Jeff
Evans
Rakowitz,
here.
DA, San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, see, I know I called you. All right.
Maybe I wasn't on yet. My bad.
Maybe so. Maybe so. Anyone else?
Did you?
All right.
Evan Schaffner, Marlon. Hi.
Oh, there he is.
Sunny Philadelphia.
There he is. And I see Nick Green is there. Good stuff.
Hello.
And if you'll introduce yourself, sir.
Yep, my name's Nicholas Green. I'm coming from the install side of things, and I'm going to start as a DA for Matt and Tracy Moulton.
Nice. Nice. Okay. So we're going to get this party started. And let me just share with you quickly what today is going to look like. I got to get the screens where they belong, all that other good stuff, make stuff move around. Yes, I do believe that I hit the record button. Yes. Okay. So what are we going to do today? Well, today we're gonna take just a moment and record and review the scorecard. That's not going to take but just a minute. I'm going to do that really quick. We're going to drive into inspired sale practice very, very fast. And during this inspired sale practice, we're going to play around with the Zoom breakout rooms so that it's not 1 on 60, but hopefully you're in rooms of like 4 or 5 people where we can actually practice some of this stuff. I do want to spend a couple of minutes talking to you about the product selector and product features, advantages, and benefits. And we're not going to dive into individual product boards today, but I want you to understand where you can get some of this information. And there's some really cool brand new stuff. I mean, brand new as of yesterday, brand new stuff that's going to be fun for you to see. I will share with you something called a product installation guide. This guide is not, I mean, it's accurate. Okay. There's nothing in error on the installation guide, but it's going to cover you about 98% of the time. Yes, you will run into some things from time to time that you need some additional help for. That's okay. If this will cover you for 98% of the time, I feel like it's a big win. And then we will quickly review what homework is going to look like. So let's go. Let's drop right into the scorecard then. So the first place that I want to take a look, let's take a look at our scorecard here. And we'll just run through the franchise owners real quick. Now, I was down here, I took the opportunity to put down how many proposals have been written so far. So we've got Dan with one. To be honest, I don't know if it was Kayla or Spencer that wrote it. I'm guessing that it was Kayla, Ashley versus Chris, et cetera, but that's okay. For this week, you guys should have done, we should be complete with week 1. So that's week 1 of the learning plan and for you. And you should be making headway in the Salesforce learning plan. So I'm just going to highlight these 2 rows quickly so that we can see that and pay attention to that. So if you see your name and you see that there's a 0 here or and by the way, Chris and Ashley are moving to the next class, so I'm not worried about this, but if you see that that is particularly low for you, then that's somewhere that could be a concern. Obviously, this is attendance up here, and I will mark today's attendance as we move through. I'll move quickly over to the design associates. By the way, guys, when I send the recap out, I will send a copy of this so that you can see it a little bit slower. I've got Adam Alexander. So this is exactly what I'm looking for. Adam he was on the call last week. 100% complete through week 1, 33% complete through the Salesforce learning plan. Perfect. The only thing I would say is we've got one ride along here, and looking forward to seeing a lot more of those. Bob's got 50 ride-alongs already. Fantastic work. Need to spend a little bit of time around Salesforce. So I'm not going to go through each person one by one. You can see your name as I go across the top. And as I've said before, and we'll continue to say again, so like Jennifer here has got, she's got a 90 in week 2. You know what? There's some of these videos in Floor U that even though you watch them, they just, for whatever reason, they just won't complete all the way over. It's a technical thing and I can't figure out why. So like week 2, the best you're going to see is a 90. Okay, it's fine. I'm expecting that. You should expect that. It's not a big deal. Let's see. So as I scroll across, again, if you see your name and you've got questions about what I've got here, please take yourself off mute and ask.
Yeah, hey,
Nick,
question. Oh,
yeah,
go ahead.
Oh, Arlen, it's Greg. I was just gonna say that on the week 1 learning, I couldn't get past a certain point. I couldn't record myself doing there were certain things you had to record and it wouldn't record.
You got to compress the video.
Yeah, you got to compress the video for sure. And it really works best if you're working in Chrome. Those are the 2 pieces of the puzzle I would give you.
Yeah, it was. Okay.
Any other questions?
So I got a quick question.
Yeah.
Mine says like 38%, 40%, 000, but on my tablet, on the app version, it all is 100%. Like I've had it completed for like 6 weeks now, 100%.
I'll take a look at that after the call. How about that?
All right, that's perfect.
Arlen, I have a question.
Arlen, Beto here. Sorry.
Yes.
So in my case, I went through week 1 and my screen says 75%. The only reason why I didn't complete it is because I wasn't able to record, but it shows 0% on week 1. In my case, I just joined, so I only been on board for a week, so but it says 0%.
I'll look at yours as well.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll make sure that it gets updated before I send it out.
Thank you.
Arlen, for us older folks,
yes.
Can you explain how to compress the video?
I can do that at a later time. I can't do it during the call today.
No, that's okay. I didn't know if you had something you could send.
Arlen, Aaron Burrell, I couldn't get mine to load either, so I sent them to you to your email.
Yep,
so
I got
mine
them.
still showed 75%.
Right. I mean, and that's what it's going to show because I can't go in and mark it. It's there's not a way for me to go in and manually mark it. So the fact that yours is 75 just tells me that that's fine. I've got the videos in another format. Okay. All right, good.
Arlen, one quick question.
One more. Yes.
I'm Mike Gagliano's first DA he's hired, and we've been on over 30 ride-alongs together. How do I get that? How does he and I get that information to you?
So good question. Thank you for that. There is the ride-along tracking sheet. And this sheet, you manually go in and add them. So if I come over here to Reeve, it's by the design associate's last name is the way that this is sorted. So let's get over here to Reeve. Here we go. And so there's none that have been tracked.
Okay.
So every time I send the recap, there's a link to the ride-along sheet, and you just go in and mark them. And, you know, this is fun for me because if you'll highlight the ones that have been landed, you know, like I look here and John and Marnie are going out, and not only are they doing ride-alongs, but they're landing a bunch of work. You know, here we go. Emily's out there landing work. It's good stuff.
So we fill this out ourselves, in other words? When you send the sheet, we update it, and then we have to send it back to you then, Arlen?
Nope, there's no sending back. It's a shared sheet.
Oh, okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, so I send you a link. You update the file directly, and then right before this call, it's a manual thing, but I go in and manually update the Teams file with the number at the bottom.
Okay, great. Thanks for explaining that.
Good stuff. All right, fantastic. So let's move from here and get back to where we were. All right, so now let's have some fun. So part of your homework from last week was to essentially memorize these slides. So not memorize the content, but simply to memorize the order of the slides. So without looking at the screen, without looking at your notes, you should be able to say, my job, promise, serve, map, reviews, BBB, stars, trusted, installation, installation video, choice, direct, versus, easy, happy, build it. That's it, right? So you should, by memory, be able to do that. So I'm going to take this off the screen, and I want to find out who is it that can do that. So take yourself off mute. I need a couple of volunteers to at least give it a try and see where we're at.
Cody Ware, I'll volunteer.
All right, Cody, let's see what you got.
All right, my job, promise, serve, map, reviews, BBB, stars, trusted, installation, video, choices, direct, versus, happy, build it, bang. There you go.
If I had 100, I'd flash 100. All I've got in front of me is a 5. So I flash
and then you
a
get
5.
the money.
Money,
Arlen,
baby.
You get the money.
Money, baby. All right. Who else? I'll flash this back up here. My job, promise, serve, map, reviews, BBB, stars, trusted, installation video, choice, direct, versus, easy, happy, build it.
I'll do it.
Easy, happy, build it. Let's go.
My job, promise, serve, oh goodness, review, map, reviews, stars. Oh no, after reviews it's BBB, then stars, then trusted, installation video, choice, direct. Oh goodness, sorry. I thought I knew it. Choice, direct.
You got it.
Versus, easy, happy, build it? Or am I missing
I love
something?
it. No,
Okay.
you got it. Good. Bang on right there. Bang on. That is fantastic. All right. So the reason that I ask you guys to do this is so that as you're learning the company story, you don't have to think about what the next slide is. As you're delivering a company story to your customer, it's just natural. I know that the promise slide comes after the my job slide. I know that if I'm looking at the review slide, BBB is next. So you should be able to simply say these words forwards and backwards even. This was a game that I used to play with my design associates. And literally we would time each other. Who can say it the fastest forwards and backwards? See, I'm only asking you to do it forwards. So my design associates would have to say, if I take this off the screen, my job, promise, serve, map, reviews, BBB, stars, trusted, installation video, choice, direct, choice, direct, versus, easy, happy, build it. And then go the other way. Build it, happy, easy, versus, direct, choice, installation video, trusted, stars, BBB, reviews, map, serve, promise, my job. And it would be a game to see who could do it the quickest. Now, in the old company story, there was more slides on the back end, and the fastest we ever got was like 22 seconds forwards and backwards. So let's see if somebody else can give it a shot. Just forwards, that's all. Who else wants to give this a shot? Just forwards.
Give it a go.
All right, let's see.
So this is Paul Dunn. So, but the slide is still up on the screen. Here we go. So my job, promise, serve, maps, reviews, BBB, stars, trusted, installation video, choice, direct, versus, easy, happy, build it.
I love it. I love it. You know what else I love? I'm watching, and Lisa Hawkins is over there mouthing the words as you're doing it. I know she knows this. She knows this. She just doesn't want to be called on. All right, Lisa, let's try this.
Okay, there we go. She knows it a lot better than I do, Harlan, a whole lot better than I do.
You can do it, Lisa.
All right, my job, promise, serve, map, reviews, BBB, stars, trusted installation, installation video, choice, direct versus easy, happy, build it. Is that right?
Yes, look at that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's
All right.
good.
So if you didn't take the time to do this, if you did not take the time to commit this to memory, I encourage you to do it, okay? As you learn the company story, it is going to help you so much to be able to not have to think about what is the next slide. Now, I know not everybody learns the same way. So for some people, doing this it's not going to move the needle. I get it. That's fine. But for a lot of people, by memorizing the order of the slides, I know that if I'm on the promise slide, the next one's serve. I know if I'm on the serve slide, the next one's math. Okay, perfect. So let's talk about where we're headed today. So here's our inspired sales system, the graphic that I told you would see over and over again. And essentially what we're going to focus on today is the setup call, the warm up, and step 2, the inspection and the reference list. So these are the 3 steps that we're going to try to work our way through today. So my question to you, what is the reason, what is the purpose, why do we bother doing a setup call? What is the whole point of doing a setup call? First of all, what is a setup call? What is it?
It's a call where you've had somebody come in as a lead, so you introduce the company. And
Okay.
And hopefully secure the appointment.
Secure an appointment.
Okay. All right. So, Keith, I'm not misaligned with that. If somebody came into your office, then then absolutely the first call that you're making is setting the appointment. But let's take the example where the call came into the call center or somebody booked an appointment on the website, okay? And now we're making the first setup call. So the call center doesn't do a setup call. The call center simply books an appointment, or the website simply books an appointment. Now, as a design associate, you're calling the customer to do what we call a setup call. So what is the point of doing this setup call? What are we trying to do with this?
Right, Arlen, you want to
introduce yourself?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. I want to introduce myself.
Make
Start a rapport with the customer.
Okay. Start building some rapport. Jamie?
Not only building rapport, you're trying to find out a little bit about their project. So you already have the wheels turning. So you know when you go in, okay, they want to redo carpets in bedrooms. Here's what I'm going to be thinking about. You know, you're already kind of starting the appointment when you're making the setup call.
Okay. All right, Brett, were you going to add something else?
Yeah, you want to confirm the date, time, and location of the appointment.
Yeah, let's get some logistics out of the way, right? Okay. What else do I want to do with this call?
Get them excited about meeting.
Yeah, I want to get them excited about meeting. Who was that? I can't get everybody on the same screen.
Oh,
That was
Sherry.
Yeah. So Sherry, tell me about creating a little excitement.
Just getting them excited about meeting, just saying I'm really excited to meet with you and your husband or wife, whatever decision makers there, significant other with them. And just say that you're excited to show them a customized shopping experience. Just kind of get them ready for your arrival so that they're just ready to jump in and get going.
All right, good. Okay, now you said a magic word. You said something that sort of perked my ears, right? You said something about decision makers or other people being there. Tell me more about that. What's that all about?
Yeah, well, that was one of the other things in the setup call is you can ask if there should be anyone else will be present to help with the decision making.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to dive in here and the reason I'm going to dive in here is because words matter, right? Words matter. And so I don't know, Sherry, I don't know you. So if I embarrass you, I'm really not trying to embarrass anybody, right? But are you married? Are you single? I mean, I'm not trying to come on to you.
I'm married.
I'm trying to set this up. You're married. Okay, perfect. All right, good. Okay, so Sherry, if I'm on a call with you, if I'm doing a setup call with you, and I say, Sherry, I'm Arlen with Floor Coverings International. Hey, but I just want to make sure, are all the decision makers going to be there? How does that ring in your ears when you hear that?
Well, because I want to make sure that what we choose, that whoever is part of this project is going to have input in selecting the product.
Okay. See, that's different. Now we're talking about having input into the product. That's different than having a decision maker, right?
Okay.
Okay. So here's my point. Here's my point with this. It is, I could say to Sherry, are the decision makers going to be there? And that might turn her off. I mean, to the point where she's like, well, wait a minute. If my husband's not here, if my significant other's not here, what are you saying? That I can't make a decision for myself, right? So we have to be careful. Sometimes, now, here's the thing. 70% of the time, 80% of the time, if you use the word decision maker, it's probably not going to hurt you. But let's focus on the little things so that the big things are good, right? So I don't even want to ask the customer about decision makers. I want to talk about who's going to have input, right? Who's going to have input? Who's going to want input into what? Into the style of the product, into the way we're going to install it, into any of the technical details, into the price, right? So when I'm talking about input, it could be any of those things.
Okay.
So
So replace that with the input.
Right. So I just want to take decision makers out. I want to talk about input, right? All right. So Sherry, if you were to do a flooring project in your home, who would you want to have input into this project?
Well, my husband, because he'll be making the financial decision with me. I'll choose the style.
Okay.
And he'll with the money.
Okay, great. But if I ask you, who would you like to have input? That sounds a whole lot different than, hey, are all the decision makers going to be there?
You are correct. That is true. It
Right.
does sound a little much better. Yes.
Okay. And by the way, I'm not picking on Sherry here. Okay. It just so happens that she's the one that said it, but somebody else was thinking it. The other thing to keep in mind is it might not always be a spouse. Okay. We tend to think that it's always a spouse that we need there, but it may not be a spouse. It might be that Sherry has a best friend, that she's got a sister, a brother, a designer that she's working with, an aunt, a cousin, a grandmother. It might be somebody else that she wants to be there because she values their opinion, right? And so maybe Sherry's husband's there, but we still can't get a decision today because the cousin that happens to be really, really, fancy, that we want to make sure that we impress, that cousin's not available at that time. Does that make sense?
Arlen?
All right, good. Yes.
You can also, what I like to say is simply, I don't know if you're married or have a partner or whatever, but is there anybody else you'll have there joining you?
Okay, but
I just want to know, is there, are you inviting anybody else to join us? That's all. So I know.
Okay. All right. So Tom, I'm gonna play devil's advocate, okay? Because I want to practice small. I want to nitpick little things to make the big things better, okay? So if you ask me the question. I have called Tom. I have called Tom Reeve to come to my house and give me a proposal. I need a new area rug. I need a new carpet. I'm looking at hardwood floors, and I've asked Tom to please come. So Tom, ask me your question.
Simply, great. I'm really excited to meet with you. Is there anybody else who will be joining us?
It's just going to be you and me.
Perfect. That's it.
But does that get you the answer that you're really looking for?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
I think the larger point, Arlen, and I absolutely want to follow the tried and true FCI way, but can I throw something in? I look at this not as a setup call, it's a warm-up call. That's really what it is. I'm warming up the relationship. I've already gotten a warm lead. Now I want to warm it up even more. So yes, there's specific questions I always ask. Mike gave me a question sheet, which is great, keeps me on track. But I think at the end of that call, it's a wonderful time now. I was once taught that sales in its essence is two words. It's the transfer of energy and belief. So when I hang up that call, they know that Tom's got a lot of energy. He's as much excited about my project as I am. but he also transferred a lot of belief to them already, and I haven't even met him. So
I am 100% aligned with everything you just said, right? So I'm gonna go back to this question that you asked. You asked if who is it that you're going to meet with? Well, it's just me. But that doesn't really answer the question that you're trying to ask. What you're trying to ask is whether or not there's somebody else that needs to be there.
which is kind of a prompt to get them to the house. I get it. Right?
Right. Okay. Because I want them there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we know why.
Yeah, and Adam's got a good point in the chat box, and this is one that I also like to play with. So let's see, Janie, I think I can get away with you. I think I can get away with this with you. Okay, we'll see. I don't know if there's a complaint that's filed with Tom Wood later, then I'll know for sure, right? But let's say that Janie, I'm making my setup call with Janie, okay, and I come across with a question like this. So Janie, this is Arlen Brady with Floor Coverings International. How are you doing today? You have to take yourself off mute. Otherwise, it's a one-sided
My
conversation.
shortcut didn't work. No, I'm great. How about you?
Oh, fantastic. Hey, we've got an appointment set up for 2 o'clock this Friday afternoon. Does that still work for you?
Yep, that works.
Hey, by the way, are you going to be there by yourself?
And then I run away screaming and cancel the appointment because that's weird and creepy.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So all of this, this is my point. Okay. This is my point. We have to pay attention to every little detail. This game is won or lost by the millimeters. And so that's a case where, you know what, this is why we role play this stuff. This is why it's important to practice this stuff, because I want to make sure that when I ask a question, I don't mean for it to sound creepy, but my gosh, if I ask Janie, are you going to be there by yourself? She's like, well, I was, but not anymore. I mean, it's just, come on.
Buying a dog.
That's right. Okay. But at the end of the day, what is the number? Yeah. Question.
No question. Can I just interject something really quickly? It
Please.
may or may not have something to do with this, but as far as the setup calls do, please, if you're an owner or a new DA, this is something that I believe strongly in. This helped change our business 3.5, 4 years ago when we were not doing it consistently. Before that, I kind of blew it off. We didn't think that it was that important. We made a concentrated effort to do this about 3.5, 4 years ago, and we've seen nothing but our business skyrocket since. So we treat the setup call like it's gold. We call them as soon as we can, and we treat it like it's our appointment. Basically, we're on the phone with them as long as they allow us on the phone with them. A lot of times you'll get customers going down rabbit holes talking about, whether you know each other from some sort of background or whatever. You almost like it's your icebreaker. And by the time we're going out to the customer's home, we're already good buddies. If the customer's talking, let them talk. Don't cut them off. Don't interject. Give them the information. Try to draw them as much as you can. Take everything that Arlen's saying to heart, and more than anything, just pick up the phone and make the call. Because I know there's a lot of people that just will think that there's not value here and they're not going to do it. I implore you to try to do it every chance you can, because it will make a difference in the end. 100%.
Perfect. Thank you, Matt. Thank you for that.
Yep.
All right.
And do you think if we rephrase that sentence might work better? Meaning, will there be anybody else join us that might help you or put an input into the project? Do you think if we rephrase that might work a little bit better?
That's perfect. Yep. So if I get on the phone, I say something like, hey, is there anybody else that you would like to have at the appointment that would want input into the design or into the way we're going to install it or into the price of the project? Is there anybody else that you would want to have there that would have input into the project? And then they say, yeah, I want my husband, I want my wife.
Not be, sure, I'm sorry, there might not be a decision maker, but it might be somebody important to them that will provide some input into the project.
100%, right? So when I
that might
ask
not
that
just
question
want to be
that
by
way,
themselves.
well, it might be. It could be that, no, it's just going to be me, or it could be that I want so-and-so to be there. And then my follow-up call is going to simply be, well, are they available during that period of time? Good. So ultimately, what is the number one, if I could get one thing out of the setup call? So we're gonna set the logistics. This is the date and the time. I'm going to introduce myself. We're going to We're going to talk about other people having input, all that other good stuff, right? What is the number one thing that I am trying to accomplish in this setup call? If I could get one outcome out of the setup call, what would it be?
Would it be getting the
You want the
customer
customer
comfortable with
to
us?
be looking forward to it.
Did they keep the
I want them
appointment?
to be.
Did they keep the appointment?
I want them to keep the appointment. I absolutely want them to build a little excitement. What else?
You want to minimize the
thing,
number of
Evan
other
said-
appointments.
Who
referred you?
I think.
Sorry, Marnie?
Who referred you?
Okay, that's a good thing to ask, but that I want one big thing out of this. If I can get it, I don't always get it. If I can get one big thing out of this.
You want them
The
not to
one
make other
big thing.
appointments.
Trust?
Bingo. I want them to stop Googling, right? Dan says, I want them to stop making other appointments. I want them to stop Googling other people. I mean, if I could get one thing out of this, okay, regardless of all the tactics and all the things that I put on top of it, if I could get one outcome out of the setup call, I want to build enough excitement. I want to build enough rapport. I want to build enough trust. I want to do all those things really, really well so that ultimately, they quit Googling for other people. Now, that doesn't mean I've already won the job. I still have to earn the job. But they're like, you know what? I had a really good call with Marnie. And hey, let's have her come out and see what she does. And shoot, if she's got a reasonable product and a reasonable price, we'll just go with her. Now that you haven't earned it yet, but now they've quit Googling other people if you do this really well. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I'm going to break you guys up into breakout rooms, 3 at most 4 people per room. So there's going to be a lot of different rooms. And I want you to practice doing the setup call with one another. And really, this is the time to really give people honest feedback. So if somebody uses the creepy, hey, are you going to be alone? Call them out on it, right? And be nice, but call them out on it because this is the opportunity to help people get better. So let me set these breakout rooms up. And hopefully this will work. You should have 3, at most 4 people in a breakout room. Perfect. Off you go. You'll have about 5 minutes in this breakout room to practice.
Hey, Arlen,
Yes.
for next breakout session, we could use, I don't know, we can get a little bit more time. We have 3 of us. We didn't get to all role play, so.
We will absolutely do that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
That was short and sweet.
Yeah. We got cut off, Marnie. Good job.
Thanks, Matt.
Cody,
Okay.
did you get the job?
Yes, we did. We did get the job. So it was worth it. It was 4 hours worth it, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, Arlen.
All right.
Arlen,
So I want to find out. Yes.
we had an interesting question that came up. Like, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but through the training so far and through these conversations on the setup call, we haven't talked about confirming that they have 90 minutes or 2 hours available. And so we were talking about the length of appointment. Is that something that we're intentionally avoiding? Or
No, I'm not going to avoid it at all. So, but I want to make it all about the customer. Okay. So here's the mistake that I hear people make. People will say, hey, this appointment's going to last 60 or 90 minutes. Is that, are you okay with that? Well, no, that sounds like a lot of time. Okay. So instead, I want to make this all about the customer. So how can I make this about the customer? Well, I could say something to the effect of, so that I don't want to rush you in the process. I want to make sure that you have enough time. And for a lot of people, taking time to stop and pick out the perfect carpet or pick out the perfect hardwood can take a little bit of time. So I'm going to set aside between an hour and a half and 2 hours on my calendar so that I give you the time that you need to do what you want to do.
And shall we mention that, Arlen, or should we wait until the customer might ask?
No, absolutely. I want to do that in the setup call. 100%. I want to do that in the setup call. I want to set expectations for the appointment. Okay. I want to set expectations so that the customer knows that this is what they can expect when I get there.
That's good.
Okay. But I want it to be all about the customer, because if I say, Beto, I need to make sure that not only are you there, but anybody else is going to be there that's going to be making the decision. They got to be there. And I need 60 to 90 minutes of your time. Now it's all about me, right? I'm making this about me. I want this to be about you. You know, who do you want to have there to have input? And let's make sure that they're there, because I just want to make sure that you have a great shopping experience. And, you know, a lot of times it takes people an hour, maybe even an hour and a half to have a true shopping experience, to look at the samples and see what they want. So I don't want to rush you. I'm going to set aside a couple hours on my schedule to make sure that I have enough time for you.
Fantastic. Sounds great.
Okay, right? So did anybody hear something? Sorry, David?
Oh, I was just saying, you're not packing up kids to go to the hardware store while little Jimmy's running down aisle 12, hitting himself with hammers. You're on aisle 6. You're like talking to somebody else.
All right, so I just want to find out, did anybody hear something that somebody else said that either, hey, this is a great learning thing that everybody in the class should hear this, or maybe something that you heard somebody say that I'm stealing that. That was really good. I'm stealing that.
Yeah, I heard something from Julie, Arlen, and that's that there's a tool in the training, like a forum that kind of walks you through, you know, a guided conversation, which is really important.
Yep, there is. So every time I send the recap, I always copy you guys on the competency assessment form, so you've got that and it's there.
Thanks.
Good. Anything else?
The one thing that came up.
Oh, come on.
Our breakout
room.
Yeah, Paul. Is that, and this is happening in when I'm calling up customers, at least here in Cape Cod, often people ask me, how long have you been doing this? Or how long have you been in business? To get the history, like a sense of, you know, just competency through history. And that came up in our breakout room today.
Good. So I'm going to quiz anybody that was here in Atlanta about 2 weeks ago. How long has Floor Coverings International been around?
25 years.
About 40 years.
Yeah.
35.
84?
35.
Well, that's kind of a trick question though, Arlen, because they've been around since the 80s, but the model that they are today is more recent. It's 20 plus years, right?
Okay. So I'll take either one of those answers, right? So when Paul gets the question, how long have you been in business? Paul can very easily say, well, Floor Coverings International has been around for over 30 years. Yep, right? And if you are in an area that, you know, you're brand new. Now, Janie, you've had somebody in the Vegas area, okay, but it might be that you're somewhere that, you know, you're out in the middle of nowhere, and maybe you don't have somebody that's been right on top of you. That's okay. You know, Floor Coverings International has been in the business for over 30 years. And it's my responsibility to open the territory in this location. Good. Anything else that you guys heard that you're like, I'm stealing that?
She nailed it.
Sorry?
She's pretty much what she said. You know, she really addressed the fact that it was a new franchise, but the Floor Covering International has been in the business for over 25 years.
Perfect. Good. All right. So let's move on to the next thing. So when you show up at the customer's house, let's talk a little bit about what does it mean when I arrive at the home? What does it look like? So when I pull up, again, these little details matter. I pull up in front of the house. Where do I want to park the mobile showroom?
Visually from their front door?
Yeah,
Right.
on the street.
In the
Front lawn.
street?
Yep.
Right
So
in front of
Spencer,
their
when
house.
you say visually in front of the front door, explain what you mean by that.
Like, if you look out your driver's window or the side window, you can see their front door. So when their front door opens, the first thing they see is your van behind you.
Bingo. Bingo. So how many of you have done any secret shopping yet? Have you had some other company come to your house? So I will tell you that there's not that many. I mean, there's more and more every day that do a similar model, and that's okay. As we get bigger and bigger, there's going to be more copycats out there. That's all right. But generally speaking, your big competitors, when they show up at the door, they don't drive a branded, wrapped mobile showroom. Most of the time, your competitors are going to show up in their own personal car. And, you know, who knows? So somebody pulls up in a Nissan Altima versus your branded, great looking, new wrap mobile showroom. I mean, it's a big difference, right? So yeah, when they open the door, I absolutely want to see that. Now, as I'm driving to the appointment, what are the things that I'm paying attention to?
The neighborhood, the school, you know, things that we can talk about in the warm up as conversation, the park that's nearby, the trees, anything like that.
Right. I want to get all that, right? I want to see what it is. Okay. So when I knock on the door and we open up the door to warm up, what is the main point? What am I trying to do in this warm up?
You're building rapport.
Melt the shield of ice.
Building the rapport with your customer.
Melt the shield of ice.
Building rapport, right? You can melt the shield of ice. I'm building rapport. I just want to get to know the person. Okay. So what are some topics that I do not want to talk about in the warm up?
Politics.
Politics, religion.
Religion.
Okay. No politics,
Flooring.
no religion.
Project.
What else?
Flooring.
The project.
Flooring.
Flooring. I do not want to talk about the floor. I want to talk about what? I want to talk about the customer. I want to learn about the customer. What do they do for their last vacation? What do they do for fun? What are their hobbies? What are their interests? What are the things that they enjoy? I want to find out about the customer. I want to talk about their pets. I want to talk about what drives the customer. I want to do everything I can. Okay, yeah, there's the taboo topics, you know, religion, sex, politics. It's all the same thing anyway. I don't want to talk about that stuff, right? But apart from that, what do I want to? I don't want to talk about the floor. I want to steer this conversation towards anything except the floor. Why is that? First of all, why is that so important? And then I'm going to follow up with why is that so different than everybody else in the market?
So they
You
realize
don't
that we
want
see
them
them
to
as
just
people.
look. Yeah.
Yeah,
They see you as a person.
It dials down the pressure. The customer would feel less pressure.
If you as a person.
100%. Yeah, they're going to see me as a person. I'm going to see them as a person. I want to get to know them, and it dials that pressure back.
I think also
People don't want to be.
Yeah, Janie.
when you go back to the reasons why people buy from somebody, one of the major reasons is because they like you. And so if you're establishing yourself as a likable, friendly person right off the bat, I mean, you're just adding more to that. Oh, I like this person. Maybe I would buy from them.
Sure.
Can I add on to that?
Yeah, Dan.
Expose one of my own personal shortcomings at the same time. In my sales career, I'm really pretty good at this, and I only brag about that because I will admit that I am then really good at forgetting everything they said. Now, why is that important? Asking the questions and nodding and smiling and gee whiz, that sure is cool. And then you get into your sales spiel, you lose all that equity. I call it equity because, in my opinion, you draw upon that equity when all of your subsequent communications. How's Jojo the dog? Is the leg healing all right? Yeah, well, you know what? My dog's having issues too. How was Marcy's dance recital? Are you still, are you gonna still worry about the tap shoes on the floor? Anything like that will put you out of the salesperson column in their brain and put you or keep you in the human being column in their brain. If any of us go used car shopping, I don't think any of us love that man or woman walking toward us on the lot. Our shields come up and we're ready to do battle in many cases. They're going to be the same way when we walk in the house. If you're successful in diffusing it, don't throw away that equity. Use it in subsequent communications and mean it, because that way they're a human being for you too and not just a prospect.
So Dan,
Yeah, if I
I'm
could
going to
real
take
quick.
that. I'm going to take that one extra step, okay? Because what I'm going to show you how to do, not today, but in a subsequent call, what I'm going to show you how to do is take the equity that you picked up in the warm-up and actually spin it into your company story. So I'm not even going to wait until a follow-up call. I'm going to spin it into the company story. So I had a chance to meet this customer and found out that their last vacation, they went to Greece, and they told me all about how they looked online and they found this place and it had 5-star reviews and all this stuff. And bingo, a light went off in my head about 5-star reviews. And I hold on to that information. And then when I get to the company story slide that talks about how we earn our stars, or 4.8 out of 5 stars, I'm going to remind the customer about their trip to Greece, and we're going to tie it all back together again. So 100%, we're going to take the equity that we get in the warm-up and we're going to use that later. There was another question.
No, but I'll interject one more thing, Arlen, if I can. So when I was in college, I did door-to-door sales with educational handbooks, forever and a day ago. And the first thing they taught us is don't look in the window, don't look directly at the door when they're opening the door. Make yourself kind of a little more welcoming, to where you knock on the door, or you ring the doorbell, and then you step back away from the door and you turn sideways and you look out in the yard, look at the whatever, anything else. So when they open the door, you're now turning to them to welcome them rather than staring them in the face as they're opening the door. It just is a more welcoming type of thing to open the door to. So turn sideways, look something else. And then when they open the door, the door is opened, you turn to them and say, hey, how you doing? Beautiful day, whatever. Yeah. So that's one little tidbit I got years ago that I think is effective at the door.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's break down the warm-up. In the warm-up, yeah, we're going to melt the shield of ice, right? We're going to learn about the customer. So if this helps you, remember this. You got a little acronym here, FORMS, F-O-R-M-S, FORMS. So what can we talk about? We can talk about family. We can talk about occupation. We can talk about the things that jazz them up. What are their recreations? What are their hobbies, right? What are the things that they really enjoy doing? What is their motivation to spend? Now, the last one here is sports. I want to be careful here, right? So when we first got on the call, Greg, you were having a conversation about hockey with, who was it? Who was it that you were talking to about hockey?
Tom.
With Tom, right? All right, so you and Tom were having a great conversation about hockey, and I would be willing to bet that you and Tom had a wonderful, what you would call a little mini warm-up, and got a chance to kind of, break the shield of ice between the two of you, right?
Yes.
But apart from the fact that Tom is a Rangers fan, did you learn anything about Tom?
A little bit, yeah.
Not much though, right?
No, not
so what
personal.
ends up happening, right? So what ends up happening when two sports friends or two sports nuts get in the same room together? They talk about what? They talk about sports. They talk about the teams. They talk about who's going to get traded, or who are they going to pick up this year, or whatever, right? And so the caution that I will give you, if you're a big sports nut, you might actually want to stay away from sports, only because it's a trap. We can spend 20 minutes talking about the Rangers. We can spend 20 minutes talking about the Carolina Hurricanes played a wonderful outdoor game this weekend. And I mean, it was a fantastic, and Carter Finley Stadium, the whole nine. We can have all this conversation about how they beat the Capitals and what a wonderful game it was. Okay, that's great. But then I don't learn anything about the customer at all. Right?
Yeah, it's almost like politics too.
It is. So if, however, we find out that Tom, not only does he love the Rangers, but he makes it a point to go to 4 games a year, and it's a big family affair, and the family comes in, now we're starting to learn something about him as a person, right? So this is where I just caution you on sports. Ultimately, what I want to find out in the warm-up, I want to find out where they spend their time and money. Yes, I want to use this as an opportunity to just get to know them and they get to know me. But at the end of the day, I want to understand what motivates them to spend time and money. And everybody's got it. Okay. Now, as part of the warm-up, okay, now I'm going to talk about a tactic. Okay, I'm going to talk about a tactic. And this tactic is getting an objection. So I call this a tactic. This is something that I want to be able to get now so that I can use it later. A lot of times a customer is going to tell you, oh, I'm getting other estimates. And other companies want to shy away from that. They're like, oh my God, no, other estimates. That's the worst thing in the world. A customer tells you they're getting other estimates and they feel like, you're Dracula and they just pulled out the silver cross. They've got you where they want you, right? Perfect. You can't touch me now because I've already told you I'm getting other estimates. Okay, I'm not afraid of other estimates, but I want to hear it come out of their mouth now, because as I work through product presentation, as I work through a company story, as I work through my inspection, as I go through everything, I want to be able to address that as I go. I don't want that to be something that gets thrown out at the end. I want it thrown out at the beginning, which is why we teach the transition questions in order to get an objection. Now, I'm going to tell you again, this is a tactic. It's a tactic. What do I mean by that? It's like a lot of other things in sales. Matt said, if I come to the door, I want to be turned sideways or look away so that I can turn and greet them. Does that mean that if you don't do it, that you're dead? No, that's not what that means. It's just, that is one extra little thing that you can do to make your sales process better. So getting the objection early is a step in making sure that you can get that objection so that you can actually deal with it during the process instead of having to wait and get it at the end. Okay. So a lot of sales systems that are out there count on, I'm going to get the objection at the end, and then I'm going to put a lot of high pressure sales tactics on the customer at the end in order to be able to make the sale. So what would that look like? I flip a price at $20,000 for this job, and the customer says, oh my gosh, $20,000, that's way too much. And I say, okay, I tell you what I can do, but I can only do it for you. Don't tell anybody else I did this. But for you, I could do this job for $15,000, but you have to sign today. Well, what is that? That's just pressure. That's taking the customer, wrapping their arm backwards around their head, and I'm telling them, yeah, I'll cut $5,000 off the price, but you have to sign today, and I have to get a deposit today. That's a high pressure sales tactic. Okay, well, we don't teach that. We don't teach a high pressure sales tactic. This is not a high pressure sales system. Instead, I want to hear the customer tell me early, oh, we're going to get other estimates. Perfect. So now I've got the next 45 minutes or so to help them see why they don't really need to get another estimate, why we're the company that they can trust. Okay, we're going to work on this, but this is the whole point of the transition questions. So somebody asked me the first transition question.
How long have you been thinking about replacing your flooring?
Yep.
Perfect. How long have you been thinking about replacing your floor? Okay, that's a simple question, right? When am I going to ask that? I've done a warm up, and just like with every conversation you've ever had in your life, you're having a great conversation about something, and naturally the conversation just sort of ebbs down. And as you feel that conversation sort of ebbing down, that's when I'm just going to ask. It's a way of keeping the conversation going. So tell me, Dan, how long have you been thinking about replacing your floor?
If you're talking to me, about 4 years.
About 4 years. Well, what made you decide to do it today? Okay, now, what is that question doing? I put in the word today, so there's a tiny, tiny bit of pressure, just a tiny bit. It's not a ton of pressure, but it's enough for Dan to say.
Well, my wife said I either need to get it done or I need to get an apartment.
Oh, there you go. All right, good. So did that give me an objection? Do I know what his issue is? Do I know what BS reason is it that he's not going to buy from me? No. Okay. So he tells me that. I'm going to follow up with that with a little bit. I'm just going to add a little bit more pressure, and I'm going to say, well, that's great, Dan. Well, what made you decide to buy from me today?
I didn't say I was going to buy from anybody today.
Oh, really? What makes you say that?
Well, I guess I didn't make it clear, but we're just shopping for several different quotes at this time.
Bingo. And now I have the objection. Okay. So all I'm doing, I'm asking questions to get to an answer, right? It might be that his answer was other quotes. It might be that his answer was, hey, I've got other projects that I'm doing. It might be that his answer was, I don't even know what I want right now. Okay, that's fine. Any of those answers I can deal with, but I want to get an answer. Okay.
Arlen?
Yes.
What's interesting about this for me, so what we're trying to do is to get that objection to release the tension in the meeting, because I got to be honest, I would say exactly what I would say exactly what they're going to say. I would say, well, look, I'm not going to buy today. I've got 4 more people that are giving me quotes, right? So.
Perfect. Yep. So it's 2 things. One, I want to relieve the tension. Okay. Let's throw it out there, right? Let's just go ahead and throw it out there. I'm relieving the tension. But the other reason that I want to get this is because as I go through the presentation, as we work through the sales process, I'm going to remind you over and over that you told me that you were getting 4 other quotes. I'm going to remind you of that. And I'm going to show you why over the course of the next 45 minutes, I'm going to show you why we're really the only quote that you need. Okay, I'm going to tell you what other quotes are going to say. I'm going to tell you what other people are going to say. Now, but what I need to be careful about here is I'm not going to make the assumption that that's what you're going to say. Okay, 95% of the time, I know that's what you're going to say, but I can't put words in your mouth. So I want you to say it so that then I can repeat it to you later.
I think that's really good and interesting because, yeah, I mean, from my perspective, I say that, but then if I'm comfortable with that person and, it takes a lot of time to do all of that, and I don't want to have 4 more appointments. And so if I'm comfortable with the person and what they're offering me, I'm more likely to buy. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. Here's the thing. Nobody wants to go through this. Nobody wants to go through it once, let alone 4 times. Yeah, you will run into that occasional customer that they're like, no, I don't even buy a hamburger unless I drive to 3 different fast food places and I get 3 quotes. Yeah, right. Okay, whatever. But the reality is most people don't want to go through this more than once. They want to go through it and they want to feel comfortable with the person they're working with. They want to know they've picked the right product and they're getting it from the right company at a reasonable price. That's it. And if you can check those boxes off, then I don't really need 4 quotes. Right?
What if they've already gotten a bunch of quotes?
Perfect. I love to be last. I love to be last.
Yeah.
Other people love to be first.
People that'll say that they're going to get 3 or 4 more quotes might also just be a defense mechanism. They probably don't have anyone else lined up just yet. They're just, they want to feel comfortable about saying, I'm not buying today. And then if they do feel like it, you can say, that's okay. Yep. Buy from me today. If not, that's fine too.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So we're going to jump back into the breakout room and I will give you a little bit more time here on this one. I just want you to bounce back and forth with the transition questions. How long have you been thinking about replacing the floor? What made you decide to do it today? And if you don't get an answer, you can always go for that. Well, what made you decide to buy from me today? Right. But it has to flow naturally. So we have to practice this. So I'm going to send you back into the same breakout rooms. I think they'll send me back into the same breakout rooms. And again, when you're in the breakout rooms, if you ever need help, there is a way to ask for help. And then when I get finished in one room, I can jump into the room you're in. So let's open these rooms back up. And I know there's been a couple of people that have dropped off because of technical issues. So I'm just making sure that there's nobody that's in a room by themselves.
Arlen, Raul is here with me now.
Got it. So that was one that dropped off.
I got in with him because my.
Good. All right. Give you a few more minutes on this one. So we're practicing the transition questions, and please feel free to ask for help if you need it.
Okay, okay.
Sorry, David.
Right. All
Oh,
right.
no, I just wanted to get a little bit of that, but thank you.
Funny that we all race the
All
clock.
right.
It says 3 seconds and everybody's trying to say, how much can I spend in 3 seconds?
All right. So I want to hear from the group. Big things that you guys had takeaways from, things I want to steal.
Arlen, I think one of our observations is sometimes you get an objection before you answer all three questions. Or
Yes,
ask
you
all
do.
three questions.
And then what do you do? And then
You
what do
got
you
the
do?
objection, right? Like, that's the point.
Just
right?
move on. Yeah, just
Yep.
move on, right? So I ask you how long you've been thinking about replacing your floor, and somebody says, well, I've been thinking about it for 6 months, but listen, before you hit me with one of these high pressure sales things, I'm getting other estimates. Okay, great. Let's go look at the floors. Once you get the objection, move on. Good. Other things that came out.
What we also were saying, what if you don't get an objection and the prospect says, I might buy it today. Yeah, if you're the third person I've gotten in touch with, and if everything works out and I like the price, yeah, it might happen.
Okay. So what you just did, Greg, is you just told me that you had other estimates.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Right?
price is an issue. That price is a big concern for you.
So
that's the
you
objection.
have given me an objection. Now, once in a while, this isn't going to happen often, but you might have somebody that says, so let's see, Greg, ask me the transition questions. Start with how long?
How long have you been thinking about replacing your flooring?
Oh gosh, probably 4 or 5 years.
Oh, wow. And what made you decide to do it today?
Well, I had a day off of work and just trying to get some things done around the house. This seemed like a good time to have you guys come out.
Okay. And what made you decide to buy it from me today? Out of curiosity.
Oh, see, bingo. That's perfect. That's perfect. Okay. So now that's a completely different question, right? Well, what made you decide to buy from me today? Okay. Let's take it one step further. Let's just say this isn't going to happen very often, but on the 2% chance that it does. Well, you guys did my neighbor's house. You guys did the people across the street. It seemed like you guys do a really good job. So, I figured if it worked for them, it worked for me. All right. Now you still don't have an objection, right? No, you still don't have an objection, but I haven't told you that I'm going to go with you. So I'm going to dial it up one more time, and I'm only going to do this if I absolutely have to. So this is the 2% of the time, maybe less than 2% of the time. I may say something like, well, Greg, the way that our process works is we're going to walk the space together here in just a second, and I'm going to put together some, a drawing and everything. I'm going to go out to the van and pull some samples out of the mobile showroom. We'll spend some time looking at different products, and I should be prepared to give you a contract today. If we could come up with a contract today, would you be in a position to sign a contract today? All right, now, if that doesn't get an objection, nothing will. Right? But that's like the deep dive. I'm going way down into the well to pull that out, because that really does. I'm talking about contracts. I'm talking about today. That's a lot, right? I'm not telling you that you have to sign a contract. I'm just saying that I could be in a position to sign a contract today. Would you be in a position to sign a contract today? Okay, and guaranteed, if there's any objection left, it's coming out right now. Yeah, Brett.
Yeah, like previous sales tactics and stuff like that, like if you're really pushing for an objection, using the word prevent, like what would prevent you from signing today? Is that okay, or you want us to avoid that word?
Sure. No, absolutely. You can do that. 100%. Okay. All right. Let's move on then to step 2, the inspection. I have to fix that slide. Step 1, the warm up. Step 2, the inspection. So what am I doing in the inspection? Well, I'm inspecting the space. Okay. I'm inspecting the space. It's not that hard. So what am I looking for when I'm inspecting the space? So we've had a great warm up. I learned all about this person. I asked the transition questions. They told me it would be 4 years. or it has been 4 years, and they're going to get other estimates. And I said, okay, great, let's go look at the space. So when we're looking at the space, what am I looking for? What am I looking at? What am I doing?
Any problems that create a buying urgency?
Exactly. Is there anything
Okay.
on that particular flooring that they don't like about?
Yeah, okay. What else?
You're looking for anything that's damaged or destroyed or anything that's showing like a lot of wear, heavy foot traffic, something that's been well lived in, to put it politely.
Okay, all right.
Are you
Anything else?
trying to find out about the subflooring and all, or is that too specific?
Yep, I want to find out about the subfloor too. Yep. What else?
And the furniture, like what furniture would need to, what items would need to be moved, if they're heavy items or just standard furniture move.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Who's
What are they
Transitions and base.
Yeah, I'm looking at what kind of transitions there are, what kind of base is there? Do we have quarter round here, shoe mold, all that stuff, right?
Maybe personalize, finding out whose rooms are what, so you can personalize each room.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea either. Okay.
I think also finding out what it is they like or don't like about their current flooring too. So, okay, I see you have this kind of carpet. Tell me what you like or don't like about it. Okay, so you
Yeah,
really like
okay.
the way this feels.
If we're
So
going over the
step
existing
two-
floor.
So step 2 is it's like two pieces, it's two big pieces of the puzzle. One big piece of the puzzle is, what is the current situation, right? What is the current situation? In other words, what is the current floor that's installed? This is a hardwood that I'm standing on. This is a luxury vinyl plank that I'm standing on. This is a carpet that what is it? What am I looking at? The second piece is, how was that installed and what is my subfloor, right? So what is the current situation? What are the things that I'm going to have to move to make this work? And I want to find out what makes the customer want to change it. So I want to find out what their hot buttons are. I hate this carpet because, it's funny, you're going to walk into homes where you see a carpet and it's got all these stains, and I mean, there's dog poop sitting on the carpet. I'm not exaggerating. You're going to see this. There's going to be dog poop sitting on the carpet, and you're going to see all this nastiness on the carpet, and you're going to make the assumption that they want to change the carpet because of the stains. You're going to make that assumption, and when you ask the question, well, what is it about this carpet that makes you want to change it? They're going to pop up and say something crazy like, well, I've never really liked this color. Oh my gosh. Here, I thought you didn't like the stains, right? And that's, in my mind, that's what's driving me nuts. And it's like they've gone completely stain blind. They don't even see them anymore. No, for them, it's always just been about the color. So I want to find out, what is it about the floor that they don't like? I remember doing a job for this lady. We walked into the house and she had it was really a beautiful hardwood floor. She had just bought this house. And she did not like the hardwood. It was absolutely gorgeous, but she hated the color, absolutely hated the color. So we ripped out an entire bottom floor of a house of hardwood floor and installed a luxury vinyl plank because she loved the color of the plank that we pulled out. I mean, that's crazy. In my mind, that's crazy. I would never rip a hardwood floor out and put plastic in, but that's exactly what she wanted. And she had dogs, and she was concerned about the dogs and accidents and blah, 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 blah. Okay. The other piece, so the first piece of step 2 is just figuring out what's currently there. The second piece is, what do you want your new floor to look like? What do you want it to feel like? How do you want it to last? And then another tactic, which we don't have time to dive into today, is selling the reference list. We'll get into that later, but for right now, the two big pieces that I want to bring out during the inspection is, what do you currently have, and what is it about this that makes you want to change it? And yes, while I'm talking to the customer, I am registering all these technical things. This is what it is. This is how it was installed. Why do I care how it was installed?
Because however it was installed is going to inform what you can install in the future.
And it tells you how much you got to demo, what you got to take up.
It's right. It tells me what I've got to uninstall, right? I need to know how it was put down so that I can figure out how I'm going to get it out. Okay. So, I look at a carpet, like I'm in the office in Atlanta. This is a commercial carpet and it was glued down. Well, that's different than in a house where the carpet is just stretched over pad. So I know that this is going to be more expensive to pull out than just a carpet that's stretched over pad, right? So I need to be able to figure out what is it, how is it installed, what is my subfloor here, and what is the customer wanting to accomplish? What do they want it to look like? What do they want it to feel like? How do they want it to last? Okay, great. So if you really like the little acronyms, I'm setting myself up as an expert. I'm educating the customer. I'm helping the customer. When I'm asking the customer about what makes them want to change it, they're taking ownership of the problem. Whatever the problem is, they don't like the color. Okay, that's the problem for them. I'm creating a sense of urgency around this and selling the reference list. So there's your SEOCS. The bottom line is don't worry about the SEOCS. This is really about I'm assessing the current situation. This is what we've got. This is what you don't like about it. And this is what you want your new floor to look like, feel like, and how you want it to last. Those are the big things. Okay.
Arlen?
Yes.
Arlen, I have a question.
Yes.
At this stage, I'm really looking to upsell rooms that they didn't bring up. Is this the time to do it? This is great, we can handle this, no problem. So I want to put a bow around it that I clearly understand what you want to do. But then I'll say, as I was walking around with you in the house, have you ever thought about updating your kitchen floor? Because
this is absolutely the time that I'm going to ask about other projects. 100%. Right. Yep, 100%. I'm going to ask about other projects. Are there other projects that you're thinking about? Now, when I ask about other projects, I do not specifically have asked about other flooring projects, and I'll tell you why. I'll ask, are there any other projects that you're thinking about doing in the near future? Are there any other projects that you're thinking about doing? And the reason I ask it that way is because, because I'm the flooring guy, if they're thinking about doing the kitchen floor, they're going to tell me about the kitchen floor. But what if they tell me, well, yeah, we were also thinking about painting this room?
You want to find out what the priority is.
Now I understand that I have other competition. I have other competition for their dollars. Oh, we're also thinking about putting in a pool. Oh, okay, you're thinking about putting in a pool. Now maybe that influences what product we talk about for the floor, but it also tells me I have competition for their dollars. Okay, so it might be that leads me to a B&I reference, a referral. It might be that because of painting, now we're talking about how do we schedule the floor first or the paint first or the paint first and the floor first? What are we going to do? Or it may be that I simply am registering the fact that I've got competition for those dollars. So, it's not, go ahead.
We also find that they have no clue that they're thinking of redoing both bathrooms, that we can do that too.
Yeah, that's right.
We keep a lot of pictures on our phone to say here, and we flip it through. They're like, oh, wow, I had no clue you guys could do that. Because that's competition for dollars that we can just bring over to our side.
That's right. Okay. So I'm going to shift gears here for just a second because we asked the customer, I'm going to go back. We asked the customer, what do you want your floor to look like? What do you want it to feel like? And how do you want it to last? Okay. Now it's too soon. In step 2, we are not selling anything. I want to be really, really clear here because we're going to get excited. The customer says, yeah, I hate this carpet. The dogs have had accidents on it and it smells, and we're going to get this out. And you know what? We can't help ourselves sometimes. We're going to get really, really excited, and we're going to want to start talking about, oh, I've got this beautiful waterproof flooring that you're going to absolutely love. This is not the time to sell. That time is going to come, okay? The time is going to come for you to be able to present the product. But right now, step 2 is about getting information. It's about getting information. It's about hearing what the customer's needs are. So, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about what products is this going to lead me to. So I want to show you a product selector, and I want to talk to you a little bit about product fabs. So in Salesforce, you can get to this. I'm going to show you where you can get to it in the tablet as well. If you go into Salesforce and you click on important links and you go to your price list manager, you'll see a product selector here. And I'm not going to dig into all the details on the product selector. That's not the point. The point is there's a column in the product selector which is called demo. In fact, Sean and I were talking this morning about changing this to say fab instead. But you'll notice here that the product selector says that all of these carpets, so this is a carpet, all of these carpets have something called R2X on them, okay? So R2X is a feature. So I just want to show you, what does that mean? Well, a feature is the name of it. It's what the product has. Advantage is, why is it better than our competition? And the benefit is, why is that better for the customer? All right, so when we finally get to step 6 and step 7, we're going to do a I chose statement. I chose this product for you because you said. Now, what is the fab that we're talking about? What does the product look like? What does it feel like? How's it going to last? Okay, I'm not trying to jump too far ahead, but I just want to know, in step 2, as the customer is describing what they want to think about, or what they want their floor to look like and feel like and how they want it to last, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about these features, advantages, and benefits. Okay, remember, I'm going to send you these slides. Okay, so you've got this. You've got this. Lifeguard carpet. What is the feature? Well, the feature is, it's called Lifeguard carpet. Good, that's the backing. The advantage is, it is the only waterproof carpet backing available in the market today. That is absolutely still 100% true. So I know there's competition out there that they call their carpets life proof. That's great. But it's not, it does not have a waterproof backing. It's patented. It's the only waterproof backing that's out there. It's the strongest carpet backing. The benefit for the customer is that stains will not soak into the pad. They will not soak into the subfloor. It makes it much, much easier to clean. Okay. So you can see the rest of the benefits here. R2X, great. So we saw that in the product selector. Here's R2X and all the things about R2X. Soft back carpet. Okay, well, that's another feature. You're going to see it listed there in the demo column of on the product selector. What is softback? Well, here's all the features, advantages, and benefits of softback. Color guard. This is one that's fairly new. Color guard means that the product, this happens on carpet, that it's bleach and fade resistant. Bleach and fade resistant. Now, who in their right mind would put bleach on their carpet? But what ends up happening is that a pet has an accident and the homeowner grabs a cleaning product that is supposed to be good for cleaning carpets, but little did they know that it had bleach in it. The other big place that you find bleach is in acne medicine. So you go into a customer's home and they've got teenage kids, and all of a sudden you look around in the bedroom and you've got all these little specks all over the carpet where they've spilled their acne medicine, or they've flicked their acne medicine on the floor. And now you've got little spots that are bleached out. Okay, well, if the customer calls you and says, hey, the reason what I don't like about it is I don't like all these bleach stains that are all over the place. Great, well, I've got a solution for you. I've got this color guard carpet. Scuff resist platinum hardwood finish. You've got premium enhanced vinyl planks. You've got armor bead finish. So I know I'm going through these fast. This is on purpose. We're not diving into the products yet today. The reason I'm showing you this now is because, again, I want to relate it back to when I'm in the customer's home and step 2, I got to go all the way back. What is it that the customer wants their floor to look like? What do they want it to feel like? And how do they want it to last? And while the customer is talking to me about the problems that they're trying to solve, what is the problem they're trying to, my hardwood floors are all scratched up because of these dogs, or my carpet is this, or my laminate is this, or the tile is all broken, or whatever it is. I'm listening to that. I'm gathering the information. I am not selling yet, but in my mind, I'm going through and I'm saying, okay, these are the hot spots for the customer. Great. So how am I going to marry those hot spots up with particular features, advantages, benefits? What are the features that we have available on some of these products that are going to help solve this customer's issue? And I'm not telling the customer about these yet. That's going to come later. It is going to come, but it's going to come later.
Can you take notes during that, or would you suggest not taking notes?
I would 100% take notes.
Yeah.
No different than Greg. No different than when I go to a restaurant. If the server at the restaurant doesn't take my order down on a piece of paper, it makes me nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, it just does. Okay. All right. So I want to show this to you. These are brand new. If you were on the Design Associate huddle yesterday, you saw these. If you were not, then you are the first. These have been out for less than 24 hours. Okay. So I'm sending these to you today so that you've got them. I'm going to bounce out of this and show you how this stuff works, because you're going to have the PowerPoint presentation. You can click on any of these. And if I click on, right, so maybe I just have to copy it and put it in. I'll work on it so that it's clickable. But if I come in here, I pop that sucker in, you're going to see that each one of these has a short video, 1 2-minute video that describes, I'm just going to move forward, that describes the feature, that describes the advantage to the customer, that describes the benefit, everything. So this is the R2X video. I'll let you go through and see these for yourself. You can see cleanup. You know, this is what an R2X looks like. Fantastic. All right, so I'm going to stop this one. Go back to our PowerPoint. And let's see, what's one that you guys are interested in? We've got Lifeguard, Color Guard, Pet Perfect. What's one that you're interested in?
Intro to bevels.
Oh, Intro to Bevels.
I love
Not
bevels.
terribly fun, but what the heck? All right, so let's do Intro to Bevels. And yes, there is sound, but I've got sound turned off so that it's not so annoying with all of us here today. And she's going to talk all about bevels and what ends up happening with bevels. Now, these are short, like I said, a couple of minutes. So it might be that as you're looking specifically at so there we go. There's a painted bevel, enhanced painted bevel. We can move forward and she can talk about a different type of bevel. All kinds of stuff here. There's an enhanced integrated bevel, and you can see how that looks different because it's just sort of rounded over. But she's got all kinds of stuff in here. You got micro bevels. Good stuff. All right, so my point here is that you now have at your fingertips all of these videos that will allow you, and even in a customer's home, to be able to open this up. Now, this goes to the Shaw Floors website, but they are Floor Coverings International branded. So you could literally, you could take these and you could pull one of these up in a customer's home and show them, this is what R2X does. This is what Armor Bead does. This is what Scuff Resist does. And it's a very quick 2-minute video for them to see it.
Yeah, great tools. And the fact that they're short, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So it's good for your learning today, but it's also great for you to be able to take these and use them with customers. Okay, I also want to share with you the product installation cheat sheet. I know we're running out of time. Give me just a couple more minutes here. I am going to send you a copy of this so that you have it. It is in Floor 1.1. It's on Floor U as well. But this gives you a cheat sheet to tell you where you can install different types of products. So for example, could I let's say nail or staple a hardwood floor down to plywood? Yes, I can. Could I nail or staple it down to OSB? Yes, I can. Could I nail or staple it to particle board? No. Could I put it on concrete? No. Could I put it over tile? No. All right, what about hardwood glue down? Now you'll notice this says hardwood glue down, but all the way over here on the right, engineered hardwood only in big bold letters, engineered hardwood only. So could I glue down an engineered hardwood floor on plywood? Yes, I could. Could I do it on OSB? Yes, I could. Could I do it over concrete? Yes, I could. All right, so this installation cheat sheet, I'm going to send you a copy of it so that you have it at your ready fingertips, but it is on Floor 1.1, it's on Floor U as well. Next week, we'll jump into a mobile showroom, or the mobile 3.0. So let's talk about homework for this week. In Floor U, you've got week 2 material, if you're still finishing week 1, then you've got week 1 and week 2 material. Continue to work through Salesforce. So You don't have to have the whole thing done, but I'd say you should probably be about half through with the Salesforce stuff. In your company story, now that you've memorized the order of the slides, I want you to go back and start looking at the content. Now, on floor 1-1, and I sent this last week, there is a scripted version, but I don't want you to memorize a script. It's not about memorizing a script. It's about understanding what is the main point on this slide and learning the main point. What is the main thing that I'm trying to get across on this slide? And put it in your own words. I'm sending you all the fab, so you'll have the carpet, you'll have all of it. But for next week, learn the carpet, the fab for hardwood, laminate, and LVP. We'll do carpet later. Ride-alongs, design associates, your goal is to have 25 ride-alongs before our inspired sale week and 25 after, for a total of 50. Franchise owners, your goal, I don't think we've talked about this yet. Your goal is to get 1 to 5 ride-alongs before launch. So this is the time to, get with one of your neighboring franchisees, get with somebody that's close. If you're not close, you know what? It might even be worth a long drive or even a short flight to get to somebody to go do a ride-along with someone. These ride-alongs are so important for you to see, not just the sales process, but to see technically what happens in a home. So if you can get even one ride-along with somebody before launch, it's gonna do wonders for you. And DAs can continue to get reference list pictures. Our next call is Monday, the 27th of February. So that's on this coming Monday from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern. I know we were Wednesday, we were Tuesday, now we're Monday. It feels like the week's getting shorter and shorter. The one after that will be back on a Wednesday. For next week, you're adding, I've got to update this, but you should be adding content to the company story. And when we get together next week, we're going to dive right into step 3, measuring and estimating. We'll spend a little bit of time on the tablet together. If you missed today and you're catching this up after the fact, there's your code word for the day, space race. And with that, we're right at 3 o'clock. So I will open this up for any questions. I know the last bit went quick. That's okay. We will spend some time down the road and catch everybody up.
So just to clarify, next week, there's no inspired sales on Wednesday. It's on Monday instead.
That's right. Yep.
Okay.
Next week, it is on Monday. You still have your boot camp calls Tuesday and Thursday next week, and then marketing on Friday. So you will not have a call on Wednesday. In fact, you don't have a call this week on Wednesday. It's funny how that has worked out. Just other meetings and stuff that have popped in.
Okay, thank you.
Arlen, I'm blanking out. What does FAB stand for?
Features, advantages, and benefits.
Got it. That was it.
Arlen, I just had a question on the inspection part, because I do think it's important, but understanding how the current floor is installed, and how do you determine that? I mean, even if there's an unfinished or crawl space area that you could access, you can only see the bottom of the subfloor. You can't see the floor. How do you know how it's installed? If it's glued, for example, how do you know?
Hey, Arlen, can I jump in?
Yes, Matt.
Yeah, so I mean, everybody on this call, especially establishing yourself as an expert, there isn't a heating grate, a floor grate that you should not lift. Every home you go into that has different floors, you should be lifting that up. Whether you know what the hell you're looking at or not, doesn't matter. Still makes it seem like you're an expert. And you will, by lifting that grate up, you'll be able to tell how many layers of floor are already down, whether there's a layer of sheet vinyl down that's on top of quarter ply. You'll see the glue oozing out if it's hardwood glued. If it's not oozing out, it's just stapled in. There's a lot of little tips and tricks, but those floor grates are, it's the history of the home. It's the history of the floors. And every single different floor there is, you should always lift it up, even if it's just over carpet. Because a lot of times what you'll find out on carpet is you'll be replacing carpet and want to put down hardwood, but for whatever the home builder in the carpeted areas, they put in particle board, but in the hardwood areas, they put down plywood. So always lift it up to see, because if there is particle board down underneath that carpet, you can't put hardwood on top of that. You have to replace the subfloor. So just always look at grates. And if you're On a slab, it's a little bit different. You know, I don't know exactly. We don't have a lot of slabs in Northeast Ohio, so I don't know how they do it down in the South in Arizona or Florida. But if you're in the Northeast or in the North anywhere where there are floor grates, always lift them up.
That's what I was going to ask. How do we determine we have tons of slab houses. We have almost all slab houses here.
Well, slabs are actually pretty easy because there's only two ways to install on a slab. It's either glued down or it's floated. That's it.
That's it.
There is nothing else, right? It's either glued or floated. And the easiest way to tell if something is glued or floated is put a golf ball in your bag. And when you go into the home, drop the golf ball on the floor. And if the golf ball bounces right back up at you, then you know it's glued. And if it hits the floor and just sort of says thud and doesn't really bounce, then you know it's floated.
Okay.
Another one with sheet vinyl is, so when you have sheet vinyl, everyone, you know, sometimes it can be perimeter glued, which means it's just glued around the edges, or it can be full spread. You have a thing of duct tape, you just wrap it around, you put it in the middle, you lift up, and if it lifts up a little bit, then it's perimeter glued. If it doesn't lift up at all, it's solid glued. The reason for that matters is you can go over top of full spread. You really shouldn't go over top of perimeter glued.
Yeah, another thing you can do is, it's really inexpensive. You can just get a little suction cup, stick it to the floor. If the floor lifts, you know it's not glued.
So Matt, I have a question for you. So have you gone into houses that have different subfloors? So meaning, like you just mentioned, so some parts having particle boards and some parts maybe plywood?
You'd be surprised. I mean, and the funny thing is, you find it a lot on really expensive homes, which is crazy, right? But the really expensive homes, they're building this big home. Most of the time, it's by these massive home builders, and they're always going to try to they're businesses, right? They're trying to make money, so they can make money by putting particle board underneath of carpet. So they're not going to waste money on plywood or OSB. They're going to put the cheapest thing they can. It's not common, but once you find it in one house in a neighborhood, mark it down and make sure everybody's checking that neighborhood. Same thing with like basements, guys. If you find out there's a bad basement, like a subfloor that you tear up some carpet and the subfloor is really wrecked in that neighborhood, just bet that every house in that neighborhood has that same problem with the subfloor in the basement. It's just going to be a common thing. So that's kind of, yes, it's not an all the time thing, but more often than you would think, Beto.
So we should check if we're doing 3 to 4 rooms, we should check the subfloor in each one of them just in case.
Just in case. I mean, heck, it takes you 2 minutes, right? It takes 2 minutes, and then if the customer is questioning, I mean, it's a way of especially when you're relatively new, it's a way of establishing yourself as an expert, right? You're doing things that nobody else is doing. This Yahoo from Empire, they didn't do it because they don't know what the heck they're doing. So that's just one way of kind of separating ourselves. And I apologize calling you Yahoo if anybody's coming from Empire, but at least you're not there anymore.
So it's a good idea to bring a screwdriver and a couple of tools.
In Chicago, we have tremendous number of old homes, even in living rooms, in bedrooms, that have a 9-inch asbestos tile down. So if we're going to be installing something over it, we have to find out, can we encapsulate it, or we have to have them remove it? And we have to make that decision with the homeowner. So we always carry a pair of pliers, and we ask permission. We go, best place to pull it up is a corner and peel it back, because you can always put it back into the corner and the customer is not going to be unhappy. You know, they're looking to change it, so they let you do it. And man, I can't tell you how many times over the years I ran into asbestos where I least expected it.
I'd also say the same thing with commercial glue down carpet. I know, Arlen, you had mentioned about that earlier. If you're looking on a commercial job, you know that it's going to be glued down most times. Make sure you find an area where it's inconspicuous, where the same thing with pair of pliers, pull it up, see what kind of glue it is, see if it pulls up relatively easy or not. Check the color of the glue and see how well it pulls up from a corner, because that's going to, commercial jobs, it's so important how much you put in for prep and for tear out, because that's where you'll get killed on a commercial job. Commercial job will be fine, then you'll find out that it's just a real bear to take up. And the reason why is because they have this green glue that's underneath that's just been down forever, and it's the wrong glue. You know, commercial guys will go out there, they'll find a chuck in the truck, and they'll throw down a glue that's not meant for it, just because they just want to get it down and they have some in their truck. The next thing you know, it's going to take you a whole machine rental and everything else in order to get that carpet up. So make sure you find some inconspicuous areas, as many as they'll allow you to, and peel it back a little bit just to get an idea of what you're getting into.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
All right,
great
guys,
input,
other
Matt.
questions?
Great having you.
Yeah, Matt, thank you for jumping on today. That was a very pleasant surprise.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Yeah, great
I
having
encourage
you. I mean, it's great input. Thank you.
everybody too on the call. I mean, not to take up too much time here. I know we're over time, but we do an owners, like a franchise owner happy hour and things of that sort. And if you're newer owners, I encourage you to get on, because it's just owners. And this is kind of it. It's people like me or Tim Beauregard or Brad Brown, guys that have been in the business for a long time. And we just have a question and answer session, late at night, having some beers and just talking about things, because listen, we've all been there, right? I mean, 7 years ago, I had no idea anything about flooring whatsoever, right? I mean, I was in 20 years in corporate. So we've all been there. So we have those. I encourage you to get on, because it's not like typical sit there and just listen. I definitely would try to get on those if I were you guys. Take advantage of the system. Why not?
Yep. Good stuff.
Hey,
All right,
Arlen,
team. Yes, Adam.
can I ask one more question? Sometimes I'm seeing that these customers are wanting to rush to the inspection. Any tactics to slow them down? I mean, obviously talking to them, the warm up, but sometimes I answer the door and they're like, flooring guys are here, let me show you.
Yeah, you know why Adam, do you know why they do that?
No.
Because that's what every other contractor that's ever come to the door has taught them to do. So every other contractor that came to the house, every other flooring guy that came to the house, every time they had a painter come to the house, the minute the door opened, the contractor looked at them and said, okay, show me the room that we're looking at.
Okay.
They don't know that your process is different. It's not that they're trying to throw you off your game. It's not that they're trying to be mean or whatever else. It's just that every other contractor that has ever come to the house, that's what they said. They walked in the door and it was immediately, okay, let's go look at the space together, because that contractor's interested in getting in and getting out and moving on to the next thing. And here we are slowing people down so that they can have a real experience and they can actually enjoy what they're doing.
Okay. Do you have any practical tactics other than like can I set my coat down? Is there, I mean, what if it's summer?
Can I let's set my coat down? Sometimes you will have a customer that just, they won't be stopped. They absolutely have to get you to the space, and they're gonna vomit out of their mouth everything that they need to say. Okay, well, let them do it, but then stop, but then get back into warm-up mode.
Okay.
And maybe it's a piece of art that you see on the wall, or maybe there's something that captures your attention that you can ask them about. Just get into just a conversation. The beautiful thing is, Adam, everybody's favorite subject is themselves.
Gotcha.
If you get somebody talking, now, okay, I say themselves. If you talk to my mother, okay, her favorite subject is her grandkids. However, it's really about herself. Right? I mean, it's the kids, but it's the grandkids, but it's really, they're telling their story. People love talking about themselves. So also, give them the opportunity to do it.
It's also a great way. I agree. You get that occasionally, but I'll just say, Jennifer, maybe you've had other flooring companies in, but if they didn't do what I'm doing right now, you definitely don't want to hire them, because we can't do a great job without knowing what we're facing. And so let me just do my deal, take a few minutes, and I want to know exactly what's involved. And I got to tell you, 99% of the time we find asbestos. They were living in the house for 20 years with asbestos. They didn't even know. So it's a great way to differentiate us from everyone else. So it's kind of slamming our competition in a nice way.
Nice.
Thank you.
Hey, Matt, there's several people that have asked, how do we get on the happy hour? And since the happy hour is, it's franchisees and I can't get in that anymore.
Yeah. I sent it there. Just shoot me an email. I have an email list that I get, but I mean, we're expanding so rapidly. Not everybody always gets onto it. And then it'll come directly from me. It'll say happy hour invite. And I don't know when the next one's going to be, but yeah, just shoot me an email so that I have you on the list. I'll make sure that you're on the distribution list, and yeah, it should be one actually, probably mid-March will be the next one. And we usually have two. We usually have one that's focused for East Coast, one for West Coast. It's a little bit later.
Nice. Okay, team. As always, look for the recap email as soon as Zoom publishes the recording. I'll get that sent out. I've got 2 or 3 things that I will have attached to it. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to the attachments, and I will see some of you on Thursday, and some of you I'll see next week.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Thanks, Arlen.
Thanks, Arlen. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank
Thanks again,
you.
Matt.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.